Hey everybody, DJ Chance here. Now in today's video, I'm going to be discussing the utilities mode of the Pioneer DDJ-Rev1. I'm going to explain what modes that this covers, how to do the settings for it, and then hopefully you'll find something useful out of it. So let's get right into it. First things first. In order to launch utilities mode, you want to make sure that your controller is unplugged from your PC or your Mac or whatever you have this plugged into. Now, in order to launch the utilities mode, you're going to plug in the cable and you're going to hold down the Q button and the play button on the left deck as you plug in the controller. Plug one. Now you can see the controllers turned on. You see that these lights are lit up in the performance pad. You also see lights lit up in the LEDs on your left and right decks. This is showing you the default mode that this controller comes in. You have 4 settings in the controller that you can adjust in the utilities mode. Now if you want to change the fader start parameters, what you would do is press one of the performance pads here, either 1, 2, or 3 on the left deck. The controller comes defaulted with 2, and what that means is that pad number 2 is the fader start will start without the sync being on. If you want to turn the fader start completely off, you would press button number 3 right here on this left deck. Now if you want the fader start to turn on while it's in sync mode, you would press the 1 button. Now any change that I do here, you're going to notice that the performance pads on the right deck are going to flash several times in order to keep the settings in the controller. You want to be careful not to unplug your controller while this is happening because it won't save whatever parameters you set in the utilities mode. You want to make sure that the lights on this right deck stop flashing. Now, so far what I've noticed is that this thing will flash 13 times. We're going to turn the fader start completely off. And let's press that button number 3 and you'll watch these flash. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13! And there you go. Now that setting is saved. And now if you want to continue to use whatever setting that you set, you can unplug your controller and start it as normal. So we'll unplug that and we'll just plug this in as we would any other time, and it will now restart with the parameter you set for the fader start. Now how fader start generally works is that you would hold down the shift button and then move your fader. And as you see, I'm moving the fader up and down and across and nothing is happening. If I actually want to use the fader start, I would go back to turning off the controller. I would unplug it. I'll plug it right back in, holding down the Q and the play on the left deck. And you see there we have the fader start is off. Now I'm going to change this to go to the fader start without the sync mode, which is the default. And you'll see that the controller doesn't respond. It's not making any changes because it's in utilities mode. So if you want to immediately use it, you just can't do it on the fly at a gig. You have to be sure that you do it before you're playing so you'll have the settings set exactly how you want it pre-gig. So now we're going to unplug that. All right, you see it turned on here. Lights are all flashing. I have my performance pad set. And now to start the fader start, I can hold down the shift button using the up fader. The crossfader start only works when you have the controller in its default DJ configuration, not when you have it in reverse or hamster mode as people know it. So in order to do a fader start, you would actually have to come across this way as you would normally DJ, not in hamster mode. See, I do hamster mode, so when I move my crossfader outward towards the left deck, you can hear the sound of whatever I'm playing on the right deck. And you see I don't have it normal, so you can hear it. The crossfader is fully open at this point. But the weird thing is, if you want to do the actual fader start, you hold the shift and you have to go this way towards your deck like you would if you had your controller in normal configuration. So So that's just something to be aware of. It's also the thing I covered in the previous video. That's the full tutorial on how to use this controller. It's weird that it even works that way. But I did reach out to Pioneer, and they informed me that you can only use these types of controls in normal configuration. Something about how the software is inside of the machine will not let it work in the reverse hamster mode, so that's something just to be aware of. If you're a hamster scratcher, you're not going to be able to use your tracking feature or the fader start. Now we're going to go back into utilities mode to adjust the length of your backspin. Hold down the Q, hold down the play, put the wire in nice and snug. Now these bottom three buttons on the left deck are going to be what controls your backspin length. You see it's defaulted into pad number 6. That means that it's in normal default mode. If you press pad number 5, you'll have a shorter backspin. And if you press pad number 7, you're going to have a long backspin, which is how I use it myself. But let's take a listen to what that sounds like. We're going to bring it back to its normal configuration, and those won't take effect until these stop flashing 13 times. Alright, so it's in its normal configuration. We're going to unplug the back of the controller, plug it immediately back in. So let's do a backspin. Now that is the normal configuration. We're going to plug it back in with the Q and the play on the left. And you have to keep your fingers on both until you see these pads light up. So now you know you're in utilities mode. So I'm going to set it to a longer backspin length, and that's pad number 7. You're going to see over here they flashed. They didn't flash 13 times, so I guess I was wrong there. And it's also only 5 lights, not 6, that light up. So let's shut this off. Let's plug it immediately back in. All right, it's ready to go. Now we'll get a longer backspin. Now here's the longer backspin. So that's basically it. And then you do the shorter one, and we'll shut this off. Plug it immediately back in. Don't forget to hold down Q and play. Hold them down till it lights up. There you go. We're in utilities mode. Now we'll do a short backspin. You see the lights are flashing. It's ready to go. It stopped flashing. We'll unplug, plug right back in. Now it's on again. Alright, now we're going to get to the all-important Crossfader Cut Lag. That's basically what everyone's going to be controlling. I don't really see anyone else doing the other 3 of the things on here. So we're going to hold down Q and play, insert the cable. It's now in the utilities mode. Now for the Crossfader Cut Lag, you don't control it with these performance pads. You're actually going to control it with the rotary knob up here at the top of the controller. What you're going to do is start turning the knob backward. You're going to notice the lights start to decrease as I turn this knob backwards, and that means that I'm getting a much tighter cut lag. It's pretty weird the way they have this configured. What happens here is that these little dots, these LEDs in the VU meter, they represent the ones place on the right deck. And then on the left deck, each one of these lights lit up represents the tens place. Now, when you do reach a tens place, one of the performance pads on the right deck will light up all the way up to 50, plus you're going to get 3 here. You can do a Crossfader Cut Lag of up to 53, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. But it comes defaulted at 8. Now the reason I know that I'm at 8 and not 18 is because this button isn't lit up. This would be 10, this would be in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and then your 50s. So if I go forward 2 more clicks, you'll see that this button lit up, these are now blank. That means that I am now at a 10 in the cut lag. And it'll just continue up as I go back. You're going to see now I'm at 19. Now I'll go one more. Now I'm at 20. You see 2 lights are lit up. And it'll follow as we continue going upwards. We're at 30, we're at 40, we're at 50. And you'll see it stops at 53. There's nothing else we can do. So you can have a really long crossfader cut lag. So what I do is I turn it. Then I start back at 1. So I have it at the very minimum for the crossfader lag. Haven't tried doing the crossfader. I want to see what that sounds like. Once you've reached whatever number of crossfader cut lag you're looking for, you'll press in the rotary selector knob. You'll see the performance pads are lighting up, they're flashing. 9, 10, 11, 12.
Calm down, 12.
13. And all right, they're ready to go. So now we'll turn this off, plug it right back in. There'll be a lot of wear and tear on that USB plug. I just did like 20 gigs worth of stuff just in this video. So it looks like 53 brings it, I don't know, 1/4 inch away from the end. Maybe 1/2 inch. I'm actually going to measure it. Let me just pull out this tape measure that I happen to have right here next to my drawer for no reason at all. Yeah, it looks like it's about 1/2 inch of play that you got before you can get a full volume of the crossfader. Okay, let's turn that off. I like a nice sharp cut lag. Let me put that in once more. About right now, I'm going to put in a sound effect from Little Louie's song called French Kiss. There we go. I'll be in the short cut fader position. You can see right there, the crossfader's barely moved about a hair and I have full volume. And that's exactly what I want, a nice sharp cut right there. Now the last and final mode for the utilities is turning on or off the demo mode. The demo mode is pretty much useless. You know, I guess it's just meant to look good when it's on display at a NAMM show or something, I guess. And what the demo mode is when you're away from your controller and haven't touched it for 10 minutes, it'll go into its demo mode where it starts to flash, all the buttons light up, and they do like this nice patterns all over. I don't see why it would be useful. I mean, I guess it could get you in trouble with a club owner if you're supposed to be DJing your gig and they see that the thing's all flashing and, you know, putting on more of a light show than what they have in their bar with their stupid little View 3.1 lights that they've had for the past 15 years. So we're just going to wait 10 minutes and I'm going to show you the demo mode and what it looks like. And what you can control is basically either turning on the demo mode or turning off the demo mode. That's it. Why they thought that was a useful feature to even have in utilities mode, no idea. The controller is going to come defaulted with turning on the demo mode after 10 minutes. But you can shut it off if you don't want your lights flashing and flickering all over the place. And as you can see here, it is now in demo mode. And that's basically just all the lights doing a nice little dance here. And if you want the demo mode to go away, you can touch any button, any knob, anything on the controller itself, and it will turn the demo mode off. And you can continue spinning at your gig or in your live stream or whatever it is you're doing. So let's just touch the low knob or the shift knob or anything. I'll move a fader knob. You see, now it went away. Now it's in normal playing mode. And if you want to shut the demo mode off, you would unplug the controller. We'll pull that plug out. We're going to launch the utilities mode by holding in the Q and play on left deck. And you see the hot Q button here? If the hot Q button is lit, that means that the demo mode is on in its default configuration. But if you touch the hot Q button, now the demo mode won't turn on at all, and you won't have to worry about it doing that. So it's very simple to do. So that's it, everybody. If you found this video at all useful, please hit the like and subscribe button and the notification button over there, and there's a button there, and there's things over there. Just no dislike button. You want to do the like button, it looks like this. Or, no, wait, is it like this? It's, no, you know what I mean. And now that you've learned a little bit more about this controller, you use that knowledge, you go out there, you master and make money.